Hey, Eli here. Today I want to tell you how I save tons of time sorting my images before I edit and how I save tons of time editing my images. I use Lightroom, obviously, like most people, to edit my images, but prior to Lightroom, I use Narrative Select. I've been using it for several years now, and it is extremely fast to sort through your images. It has a bunch of AI tools where you can zoom in on faces. You get a panel on the right side that will show you if someone's face is in focus, their eyes are open, as well as many other tools. It has some built-in AI tools that just sort everything, but I like to go through every image just to be sure, because I make panoramics and all kinds of interesting images that it might not pick up on. So today I want to show you the process of how I am going to sort a proposal that I photographed yesterday. I'm able to deliver portrait sessions within a day or two, weddings within a week, and so weddings could be 20,000 images, and I can get through those in about 2 or 3 hours through the software, and then portrait sessions like 30 minutes, really fast. So let's jump into the software here, and I'm going to show you what you are greeted with. You're going to want to import these into Lightroom and then sync your images and then save the metadata. And then after you're done with this, you can ship this over with the editing process. In order to do that, if you use their editing software, you're going to want to remove those photos from Lightroom because it can't re-import them. So just a little caveat that I've learned. So I opened the software here and I've already had it sort. So if you click this filter up here, this filter bar, it'll filter out and it'll show you right here what is in and out of focus, and you can select if you want and just kind of sort. If you know you shot kind of the same images over and over, then you could do that to make sure you get the ones that are in focus. And here it's going to kind of predict what it thinks are good or bad images. I've already sorted this session. It took me about 30 minutes or so. And so I'm going to click here, press spacebar. And if we click on this panel on the right here, we can see the faces zoomed in, and we can see if they're in focus, if their eyes are open, all that fun stuff. So I would just press up and down to go through the images really quickly. And if I want to jump from scene to scene, it'll group these into scenes. I can press the right key and it'll jump to each scene, what it thinks is a different scene. So let's just jump really fast here to the next images. And so here, and between these, there's a bunch of images, right? And so as I'm going through, I can see eyes are closed, which is fine. She's looking over at me. And then let's jump really fast into later in the session after he proposed. We did some portraits. And if you're looking to just focus on rings, it obviously doesn't know it's a face. So you can come over here on this panel and you can move this around. You can back it up. And then if you're in a series, you can go, left and right and see, which ones you think are most in focus, or pick the best image. So you can see your full image here, your zoom section here, which is extremely helpful. Let's scroll down a little bit further. And even further. So right here, we can go scene by scene, or image by image is what I do. And I'm really fast, and I can see on the right panel what's in and out of focus. I see my composition on the left, just extremely fast. And this is basically how I would go through. I rate everything equal to 3 that I want to edit. And if I made a mistake, I'll press 2. And then I'll know that all the 3 stars are the ones that I want to ship over and edit. So as I'm going through, I'll grab this here, check it's in focus. And look at that ring. Good job, buddy. So this guy here, we texted for 2 months, I think, and we planned out a proposal. I was able to video it, and it was awesome. So as we're going through, just click in 3, and I'm like, oh, I accidentally hit 3, I pressed 2, never mind. So as I'm going through really fast, you can see here I cut their feet off, and right about here is a good one, fun moments. So what I can do now is I've gone through this whole session, and we did 2 parts. So I proposed, they went to lunch, and then we went downtown Bend, Oregon at the park and did more photos. And so went through all of these, actually sorted all of these the first half while between the sessions, which was great. And then I was able to deliver a few images for them. And so now what I'll do is I'll press equal to 3. The only reason I have 4 stars is because those are the ones I already edited, and I sent over just like 4 images to them, 3 images, I guess. Just as a real quick preview. So now I can see all the ones equal to 3. And if I want, I can recall these and sort these. And here's a reason that I would go through every image manually instead of using these AI tools. I can see here, eyes are open, focus is good. Those are really helpful. But when I'm making panoramics, I'm going to be, let's see here. When I'm making panoramics, I'm going to be moving around, and the AI is not going to pick up on that. It's going to think this is a bad image. So our eyes are closed. So anyway, I've got all these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all that are equal to 3, and I'll do the equal to 4 as well. My bad. So let's click these off. Click here. Okay, so I'm going to Command A, select all of these, and I'm going to go Ship Edit Okay, I'm gonna go to Lightroom Classic. I'm gonna go, selected this mini, this is the catalog I'm using, and then I'm just gonna do Modern True Tone. You can create your own presets, but I just find it's easier just to use the modern one and then apply my preset after. So 335 images. If you use my link below, you get an extra 200 credits, I think it is, and then you get 10% off Pro Select if you sign up through the link, which is great. This is a software that I don't even question using and paying for. It's very reasonable. And then, so I'm gonna ship these over for the month of March. It's probably watching this video after, but if you are watching this in March of 2025, it is free to edit unlimited images for the month. So I'm not gonna use that. Okay, and I'm gonna confirm. And this is very fast. I'm gonna let it roll here. I'll speed this up for you, but just know it's pretty quick. You know, I might go grab a cup of coffee. I'd probably go send a bunch of emails or go to a different software, edit a video, something like that. You know, when my kid's at school, I got to be productive. And so this is like one of the biggest time-saving tools for me. You know, there's two, the sorting of it and the editing. And so if I can really get the main bulk of the images edited in a good fashion of like white balance and exposure and straightening, then everything else for me will be more fun to edit, and I'm not bogged down, and I can be more creative with my edits and just kind of, have more energy to do it. And so, yeah, so I'm gonna let this roll and speed it up for you. Awesome. All right, so after it is edited, it's gonna prompt you to Lightroom, and one thing I wanna make sure that you do this every time you import something into Lightroom, and it drives me nuts that this is an option to move, but up here on the top middle, you wanna add. Otherwise, it will put it in a default folder of 2025, which is very annoying. And then you got to move the files. So just click add. It'll keep those files in the same folder that they're already in. And then I can import the other ones later and unedited and just have them as extra filler if needed, if I had made a mistake when calling. So we're going to go import here. And it took about 15 minutes for that process to import. Okay, at this point, what I would do is I would make a smart preview. So go up here to library, and what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow me to, if I press backslash, I can see what the previous edit looked like. So I could see what narrative had done before I apply my own preset. So if I'm gonna do that now, build smart previews, yep, cancel, select all, library, previews, and build smart previews. You could also build one-to-one if you think you're going to zoom in a lot. It's fine to do that. They're going to discard within 30 days anyway, and so it's going to make your catalog larger, but you can always discard them manually as well. This is probably going to take a few minutes, and as we're doing that, we can look through some of these images and just see what Lightroom or what Narrative did with the basic edit. And I think they're really clean edits, to be honest. Yeah, it's a clean edit. You know, it's not completely my style, so I would come over here and I'd probably use Adobe. I found that with the 5D Mark II, I'm sorry, R5 Mark II. Okay, for some reason Lightroom crashed, but that happens more often than I'd like. Let's go to an image that has a little different light. Let's see. So let's go right about here. So if we click this image, and we can see the edit that Narrative did. This is a beautiful edit. It's just they're clean, basic. It's a nice edit. So what we're gonna do, close these out. Actually, leave that one open. All right, so we can see the tone curve it gave it, clarity. This was just its decision, had nothing to do with me. I just clicked it, and you can see the edits it made. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's fine. So I'm gonna apply my preset. And let's see, we'll just do Adobe. And so we can see the difference there, like Command Z. And we'll go here. And then Adobe Canon. So the R5 II, in some scenarios, I will find that Adobe is a little cleaner versus the Canon profile that I've created that has neutral. This is the only difference right here. Is neutral is selected there. So it gives a little more character, but I don't think it needs it here. So this image with my preset, I would most likely bring this down and create some vignette, or put it back and return it. I would warm this image up a little bit and maybe add a little more contrast. the blacks. And what I might do too is I might bring this down, press K, and I have my default brush set to 1. Yeah, here's my default brush. I'll just show you. So my default brush is up 20 and 1.15 on the shadows. So we can see what this image looked like. Is that it? And you might like this one more. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But it's really clean. I think that it's just such a great starting point. It's getting white balance pretty decent. Let's see. Let's find some other images. Here we are downtown in a different scene, and that's what it gave us. All I do here probably is just press K and brush this in, and then that's the narrative edit, which is wonderful. And then this would be my edit, a little softer, a little less contrasty. So the older you get, the less contrast you want or need. You just want to show real-time edits. I say that for myself as I'm getting into my 40s, and I've edited millions of images. So we're just wanting to get cleaner and cleaner with those there, and just give somewhat of a filmic look. So jump through some more. Let's see what it does with some bright lights. Well, it added a lot of contrast here to bring it back and recover it, which is great. Drop that contrast off, cool it off, and brush in just a little, maybe just on their faces. So look at a couple more. These are all out of order for some reason. That'd be file name. Let me change that, capture time. And then what I would do is I have a whole video on how I edit, but I would press equal to 3, and I would just edit the equal to 3 images, and then as I go, I will select, press 4. 4 stars is edited, 2 stars is a mistake, I want to reject it. So let's see what it did here. I have to press develop. So with images with hands, what I'll do is I'll try and find that hand there, and then what I'll do is I'll come down to the color mixer and I'll lighten up the skin tones. You can even just drag it, grab it, and that will kind of take away some of that contrast in the hands and let that ring pop. And move it off a little more. Yeah, wow. Look at that ring. So cool. This is the 100 macro. I gotta make a review on that. I just purchased this lens and I don't know how I went so long without a 100 macro. This is the RF version. I borrowed the EF version at a wedding last couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, I need that. And I had some shoots coming up that were really gonna need it. So I'll brush this just a little bit here. And let's apply my preset, Adobe. And let's try the Canon one. And what I'd probably do is press M for a gradient, come up this way, and I'll add a little bit of the blacks in here, just drop down those shadows a little bit too. And warm this image up a little bit. So, but, I mean, that's not bad, you know? That's a little better, in my opinion. So, and this is also so subjective when you go to editing, depending on what you basically have advertised yourself as and what you like for a look. And so your portfolio is going to represent obviously how you edit and what your clients are going to expect to get. So actually the Canon one has a little more character. I like that. So there's the narrative edit and then my edit. So just slightly different, a little less contrast, and you know, the face, we want that face to look clean and soft. Yeah, so really, really cool. Where this is going to come into play hugely is a wedding. Usually it's a word, right? Yeah, in a wedding, you've got like all these different lighting scenarios, like your inside, outside, and white balances are just going to be off the charts. Maybe your exposure is going to be off now and again. And so this kind of gives you like this like quick edit and then go through and fine tune it. And I found this saves me like hours, if not days. So I've used all different types of editing softwares. This one I've actually been really impressed with the edits that have been coming out of it. And it's free for the month of March of 2025. If you watch this, hopefully I get this out ASAP, and you have a couple weeks to play with it for free. But you also get 1,000 free credits to edit with, and then you get 200 extra if you use my link, and 10% off Select. So the Select Pro is the software that you use to sort all your images. So, and I think that is imperative for my company. I used to use a different software, but it's nowhere near as powerful, and it's this narrative select is way faster than Lightroom. Like, it's so much faster. So Lightroom can be quick, but man, it's just, you drop the images in, you sort, you know, it'll sort them out and do its AI, you know, detection pretty quickly within like 15, 20 minutes, depending on how many images there are. If you're doing a full wedding, maybe it's like 30, 40 minutes. But you know, you walk away, you're not doing anything, you come back or do it overnight and you're ready to rock. So cool, thanks for watching. Let me know if you're already using this software. If you are using an AI editor, let me know what you use, because I know there's Aftershoot, which I'm using also just to play with. I've used Imagine, I use Develop pretty much daily. This is another one that I use. So they're all wonderful. This one I think that is a really good clean baseline, and it's nice to use one software and go from over one to there, you know, from narrative to Lightroom and be done or ready to rock. So have a good one. I'll see ya.